Hello, welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm a personal trainer and yoga teacher in the Boston area. Today I'm going to share with you a slow and strong flow that's going to have a bit of a core focus. Go ahead and join me on the mat. I do recommend you having a block. If you don't have a block, get creative with something to create a little bit of a lift so that when you fold forward, you have something to rest your hands on top of. All right, so once you get that set up, we're going to come right to the core. We're going to start on our back. As you come to lay down onto your back, just let your knees bend, let your feet land wherever they are most comfortably, and take your hands to the sides of your ribs. Let's connect with the breath, finding that nice easy inhale through the nose. Slow exhale out the mouth. Empty the breath. Inhale nice and slow. Exhaling out the mouth nice and long, just taking a moment to decompress. Shift the awareness to the body, to the breath, and the feelings and sensations. Start to allow your eyelids to soften. And relax your jaw by letting the teeth separate and the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. And just listen to your breath, inhaling through the nose. Feel the breath expand in all directions. The front of the body, sides of the body, north and south, east and west. Feel the breath moving in all directions. As you exhale, you empty the breath, feeling the body hugging in towards its midline, in towards its core, creating this hug. The sense of security, the sense of grounding of those full exhales, and that deep core body connection. And now we'll start to add some movement to go along with this breath and start to really activate the core with the breath. On your next inhale, inhale and fill the belly up with the breath. And let the belly rise. Arch your back. Pull the shoulders down towards the floor. Hold the breath in momentarily at the top of the inhale. Exhale, empty the breath nice and slow. Start to pull the navel back towards the spine and pull the back down towards the floor. Empty the breath completely, momentarily holding that breath out, hugging the abdominal muscles in, giving a good squeeze. And when you're ready to inhale, let the breath slowly flow in. Arch the back, pull the shoulders down to the floor. And then exhale, empty the breath, pulling the back all the way down. Creating this lock as you hug your ribs in and down towards your hips. And your hips reach up to your ribs and you start to feel that closing, hugging in, knitting in through the ribs, we call it. Nice. Inhale, arch the back. Feel the chest rise, feel the shoulders press down to the floor. Exhale, when you're ready, empty completely. Follow your breath's rhythm. Holding that breath out momentarily, feel that good squeeze. One more time, inhale, arch the back. Shoulders pull to the floor. And exhale, hugging in and down. Creating that lock. Now we'll add bridge pose. On an inhale, you can press your arms by your sides and lift your low back, lift your mid back, and lift your upper back away from the floor. Exhale, lower down slow. Lower your upper back, your mid back, and your low back down to the floor. Feel the ribs hugging in and down. Arching the back again. Arch the back, press the tail down, press the shoulders down. Exhale, empty the breath, knit the ribs in, pull the back to the floor. Inhale, bridge pose, lift your hips, your low back, your mid back, your upper back away from the floor. Press through the heels, hold at the top of the inhale, and squeeze your glutes. Exhale, lower slow, upper, middle, and low back. Inhale, arch the back. Press the tail down. Press the shoulders down, lift the belly. Exhale, pull the belly in, hug it in tight, pull it to the floor. One more time, inhale with the bridge, lifting the low back, lift the mid back, lift the upper back, press down to lift up. Exhale, lower slow. Articulate upper, middle, and low back to the floor. Now let's stay here thinking of those ribs knitting in and down, pulling the navel to the spine. You're going to draw the inside seams of your feet together. I want you to really spread the toes and pull the knees toward your chest. Just take a moment to hug your knees in, and you can rock a little side to side. So the knees are a little wider, creating this diamond-like shape with your legs. Just take a moment to massage your back, and then we'll come back to the core. Pull that back down to the floor. Feel the low belly pulling in. As you reach your hands towards your toes, you're going to reach and lift through the legs, lifting your shoulder blades up off the floor. Inhale, slowly release. Exhale, lift your tail, lift your shoulders. Inhale, so just a little pulse. Try to keep the head and shoulders lifted. Try to keep that tail a little lifted, and then you pull it in nice and tight. So let's do this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hold the pose. Stay with your breath. Inhale, exhale, empty the breath, hold. One more time. Inhale, lift a little more, squeeze your feet together, hug your arms and your elbows together. Inhale. Great. Take the hands behind the knees. We're going to keep the back rounded as we start to kick and rock, massaging the spine as you rock forward and back. Feel that nice heat in the core. Really try to use that power from that core. We'll finish in this floating boat pose here. Floating the legs up off the ground. Option, you can extend those legs out parallel or up straight. Reach the arms out, lift your heart, pull the belly in tight. See if you can spread those toes, activate your feet. Ooh, feel the whole body alive. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good little shake. Let's cross the ankles. Rock your way forward towards your hands and knees. All right, once you come towards your hands and knees, create that nice tabletop. Shoulders over your wrists, spread your fingers nice and wide. As you exhale, round the spine, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, cat pose. Inhale to cow. Exhale, think of working with the tailbone, tucking the tailbone, and feel that wave all the way up to the upper back and the shoulders as you tuck the chin. And then the tailbone again starts this wave effect as you reach the tail up. And then slowly it rolls up. You lift your gaze, dropping the belly. Again, exhale round, knit those ribs in tight, empty the breath, working with that pausing at the bottom of the exhale. And as you inhale, come into that sway back cow. Pause for a moment. Feel that stretch across the front of the belly. All right, now we're going to come towards a nice flat back here, tabletop. Curl the toes under. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Slowly lift the knees just to hover up off the floor, floating tabletop. Engage the core, pull the belly in tight. Press down through your index finger and thumb. Tailbone tilts up towards the sky like cow pose. Press your belly back towards your thighs, coming into turbo dog. So knees are very bent knees as you press with your hands. Can you tilt your tailbone a little higher? And can you get your belly and your ribs to press down towards your thighs, creating a nice deep crease in your hips and a long spine. All right, slowly start to pedal the heels. You can work it out, stretching your right heel to the floor and then bending that right knee and stretching the left heel to the floor. We want to maintain that long spine and deep crease in hips. Press out through the fingertips, especially out through the index finger and the thumb. And then feel that spiraling of the triceps pulling back as the biceps spiral forward through the arms. All right, so feeling those legs nice and open, stretching down through the soles of the feet and the hamstrings. Still just warming up here as we work into the legs. All right, let's slow down the pedaling. Come up onto your toes. And think of that wave again, slowly round the spine. Push the floor away like you're coming through cat pose as you come forward to plank pose. Let your gaze lift forward. Get those hips in line with your shoulders. As you exhale, I want you to bend those knees like you're hovering into that hovering tabletop. Tilt the tail. Press the spine up. Find that wave. The heel releases to the floor last. Inhale, coming up onto the toes. Slowly round, hollowing out the abdomen as you come forward to your plank. Lift your gaze forward. Exhale, bend the knees, tilt the tail, press back, downward facing dog. Again, inhale to the toes, round and roll your way forward. Pull the navel up, up, and in. Lift your gaze forward, bend the knees, tilt the tail, press back, downward facing dog. Last one, we come forward to plank pose. Hold your plank pose sturdy and firm. If you need to lower your knees to the floor at any point, you can do so. Wherever you are, you want to engage every single muscle in your body. Think of hugging those quadriceps up and back. Squeeze your glutes. Push the floor away and feel the pectoral muscles light up. Right now we get the front of the body as you pull the navel to the spine. Keep lifting those heels to hide right behind the toes. Whew, feel a good shake. We're going to get ready to lower nice and slow. Pin your elbows right by your ribs. Lower all the way to your belly. One piece like a plank. Press the tops of your feet down to the floor. Firm your kneecaps up. Inhale, little cobra. Hold it here. Slide your hands back by your low ribs. And lift up just a little more. Can you squeeze your shoulder blades in? Spreading your collarbone wide. Let's exhale, lower down, nice and slow. Follow your breath now. Inhale as you come up. Squeeze your glutes. Use that power from your legs, from your butt muscles, right? And two more. Inhale with your breath. And exhale, lower. As you feel the muscles integrate into the spine, you might lift a little bit higher. But try not to use your hands too much here. Great. Last one, we're going to lift and we're going to hold again. Create that hugging of your elbows in. Squeeze your glutes. Press the tops of the feet down to the floor. Feel the kneecaps hugging up. So there's that little gap between the knees and the floor. Nice. Exhale, slowly lower down. Push the floor away. Exhale, round the spine, stretch the hips back. And there's so much power in just holding a pose and being still. And we're going to explore, both that moving and holding and observing what happens in our body, what happens in our mind, the fluctuations of the mind. All right, let's go ahead and come back up. Let's curl the toes under. Coming into that floating tabletop. Pull your ribs in. Press down through the index finger and thumb. Pull the chest muscles up and in. Those pectorals up and in. Now extend your right leg straight back behind you. Don't let that knee lift. Try to just lift that right leg just hip height. You can flex the ankle, spread the toes. And now we're going to bring that right knee to line up right next to the left, hovering above the floor, and then extend it back. Great. Again, lower that knee, bring that knee in, keep your core tight, keep your hips, your shoulders nice and level like a tabletop. Great. We're going to do 3 more. That's 1, 2, we're not rushing it, and 3, we'll extend it back behind you, and now lift that right leg up. Coming to this one-legged dog, let's open the hips. So turn the hips open, bend the knee. Let the heel fall toward that wall back behind you. Keep pressing through your right hand as you open up that that right side body, you might gaze up your body for that nice stretch from your ribs up through your hip. Okay, let's straighten that right leg nice and high. Now bring your right knee towards your right shoulder, keeping it wide and high. Shoulders shift over your wrist, hold. Now step your foot to the outside of your hand. Nice work. All right, we'll lower the knee down towards the floor, relax the toes to the ground. Get light on your fingertips as you lift your chest. Connect with your breath, opening up the front of that left hip flexor. Try not to let this right knee kind of wiggle wobble out. Hug that right knee in a little bit more. Press down through the inseam of your foot. All right, let's get the hamstrings next. Reach your hips back, lift your right toes. You can walk those fingertips underneath your shoulders, create that long spine. You might have to bend that right knee, especially if you're tight, and now exhale, fold. If you're tight in your hamstrings, bend your knees. And you'll hear me kind of tell you that through all the different folds we do. This way you get a more healthy stretch for the hamstrings, for your back. All right, let's slowly come forward, back towards our lunge. Take your hands to your hips and curl your left toes under. Now take a moment to just readjust. You want to make sure your knee is right over your heel. Get a good toe curl here and feel your hands on your hips. I want you to feel that right hip pulling in, that left hip pulls in, and you're press down and lift that back knee up. Right? Maybe you readjust a little bit, get a good footing, and then add the arms, reach the arms out. Turn the palms to face in towards one another. Keep squaring your hips and shoulders towards the front of your mat. Keep that nice lift up through your chest and lengthen down the tail. Maybe bend the left knee just a little bit, and then you'll feel that lift up through the front of your body. Exhale, release your hands down to frame your front foot. Come right under the tips of the finger and reach your hips back, coming into a pyramid stretch. All right, keep thinking of lengthening your right hip back as your left hip gently shifts forward. Keep pressing evenly through the front of your foot. Exhale, release your crown of your head. Bring your chin in toward your chest. This feels good on those muscles. All right, let's go ahead. Inhale, come forward. Bend your right knee, coming into that low lunge. And we're going to float that left leg up. So this is where you can come onto your fingertips, or a block or a stool that you set up. Can be handy for you. You want to get it right underneath your shoulders and try to see, can you square your hips and your shoulders forward. Now let's just lower that left leg down, and I'm not going to put it all the way on the floor. I'm just kind of hovering it there right by my right foot, a little bend in my knee, flat back, core lock pulls in, and now we're going to bring that left leg out to the left side. So option here, your leg could be straight, or maybe you bend the knee. In my case, I need to bend my knee here because I'm kind of a little bit out of space here. So try not to rock too far over, so going within your range of movement. Great, let's do two more. Takes a lot of work. I can feel my right foot struggling to keep me in place. All right, now we'll extend it back behind you again, coming into almost like a warrior three. That left leg is about hip height, and the ankle is flexed. All 5 toes point towards the floor. Now you're going to lower the foot down, and it doesn't really touch, it just lifts, kind of a little light tap. And again, we're moving slow so that I am feeling I can stay nice and steady in my movements, in my body. Great, 2 more. That right hip is screaming, I know. 1 more, reach it back, hold it back there. Airplane pose or warrior 3. Can you reach your arms out? Let's take your hands to your hips. High knee, lift the left knee high. Ooh, that right hip is screaming. All right, this just built up. It was started easy. Now you're like, where are we at now? We're going to come into figure 4 chair. Nice work. Set the hips back, crossing the left ankle over the knee. Hands could be on the hips or heart or down to the floor for that block. Keep reaching your hips back and down like you're sitting into an imaginary chair as you reach that left knee out towards the side. Whew, there are those hips. Take one more easy breath. Steady, slow, and strong. That's what we're going for here. Let's come back up. Lift that left knee high, hands to your hips. Warrior three, send the left leg back. Squaring those hips and shoulders towards the floor. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. Nice. Now lower your hands down to the floor or the block, standing split. Lift the left leg up. Whew. Exhale, lower your left foot down to the ground. Long, long, low lunge. Let's take the hands to the floor. Swing that right leg back on up. Big inhale. Woo, just where you began. Nice. Get that hip stretched out. You're going to come into pigeon next. You're going to take that right knee towards that right wrist, kind of the outside of that. So a lot of different options because pigeon doesn't work good for everybody's hips. And so, you know, you might find a figure four on your back. Another option is you could just sit with your right heel underneath your bum, right? But if, you know, this is a safe pose for your hips, you can explore this a little deeper. And as you get more flexible, the closer you bring that left shin towards parallel the front of the mat, the harder it's going to get. But we want to make sure we're evenly weighted on our hips. If we're a little lifted, you could always fill this gap up with a blanket or a block. Option to lower your elbows down. Whew. And take some deep breaths because you deserve it. Especially after that work, right? When you're doing all that hip work, kind of built it up on you, those leg lifts, standing postures. Balance it out with a nice deep stretch here. All right, now as we get ready to do the second side, it's going to feel a bit different. But let's go move through a little flow first. Take your hands back underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes back under. Pull your right knee up and in. Reach it up one more time for an inhale. And then exhale, you can lower your foot down to the floor. Shift forward to plank pose. Nice and sturdy plank. Push the floor away. Light up the front of the body by pulling the navel to the spine. Squeeze your glutes. Lift those front of those quads nice and firm, like you're lifting them to the back of the body, to the back of the bone. We're going to lower just halfway, elbows squeeze in tight. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Your choice. Always. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's pedal the heels out. All right, ready for the second side? We're going to lower down towards our knees. Spread those fingers wide. Find your tabletop. Curl the toes under and float the knees up off the ground. Pull the navel towards the spine. Knit your ribs in. Left leg reaches back. Just hip height. Flex the ankle. Spread the toes. Exhale, you bring that knee in line with the right. Inhale, extend that left leg back. Exhale. Nice and stable. Does it 3 more times. That's 3, 4, no rush. Last one. 5, hold it back there. Extend the leg all the way up. Open your hip. Bend your knee. Press down through the left arm as you open that right hip. Gaze up the left side body. So let's start to square our hips. Bring your left knee towards the outside of your left shoulders. Hover and hold. Hug the belly in. Push the floor away. And now step your foot to the outside of your left hand. Lower your right knee down to the floor. Relax the top of the foot to the ground. Find that nice low stretch here in your lunge. Second side, it's like you're already warmed up. Body's a little primed. All right, let's find the hamstring stretch. You'll reach your hips back, lift the left toes up, bend that left knee as much as you need to so you can reach your tail back, lengthen and lift your spine. Exhale, fold. Release your crown of your head to the floor. Pull the chin toward your chest. Enjoy that nice, easy breath. Breathing in through the nose and just exhale. Let everything slide off the back of the neck and shoulders. Inhale, slowly come back forward. Let's curl the toes under. Bring your hands to your hips and really feel the tail lowering, dropping down here. Right, you want to get that left knee right over the heel. Get that toe curled under. Lift up through the chest. Try not to lean forward or rock your way up to use momentum. Try to see if you can just push down and come up, just like an elevator. Right? You just go straight up and then squeeze those hips in. And a little bend in that right knee is going to help you to lengthen down through the tail as you reach your arms up. And you can wiggle into those feet a little bit more as you explore the back bend of crescent pose. This high, beautiful high lunge. And as you lift your heart and explore this back bend, I want you to still stay strong in the core, pulling those ribs, hugging them down as you lift up at the same time. Let's release the hands down to frame your front foot. Hamstring stretch, pyramid pose. Straighten your left leg. Right heel reaches towards the floor. And chances are the heel's not going to reach. You'll get a good stretch this way. Now keep lengthening that left hip back as your right hip gently squares forward. Press evenly through your front foot. Try to relax the head, neck, and shoulders. It's the calm before the storm, right? Let's get ready to bend the left knee. Take your hands to that block or the floor. Make sure they're right under the shoulders as you float that right leg up. Ooh, now we'll slowly lower it. Little bend in the knee, and then you can lift it up. Out. Ooh, almost fell over on that one. 2. Again, the leg can stay straight, or you can bend the knee, kind of shortening the lever. And again, try not to let yourself tip over. You only lift that leg up as high as you can without tipping over to the left. Last one. And then extend it back. Ooh, that left leg's starting to burn. All right, ready? We're going to lower it down and reach it up. You can feel the hamstring working here. Like we lengthen it, we create strength, both of those ideas working together. Creates a good healthy hamstring. Last one, reach it back, hold it back. Again, remember the core not swaying in our back here. You're pulling your ribs in and up, and then that way you can take off into your airplane. Option to bring your hands on your hips. You want to bring those, make sure those hips are squared. High knee, reach that right knee nice and high. Whew. Lengthen down through the tail, pull the navel in, reach up through the crown of the head, shoulders down. Nice and proud through that chest, figure 4 chair, across the ankle, over the knee, open that knee out to the side, sit your hips back into your chair, and choose your options for your hands, wherever it feels best for you. You know, don't be afraid to take your hands down onto that block. Sometimes just getting that nice, enjoying that nice juicy stretch, or maybe you're in the mood for balance and challenge in that way. Sometimes the hips just need a little bit of this help with the block here. Whew. All right, let's get ready to come back to high knee. Inhale, lift that knee up. Hands on your hips. Warrior 3, extend that right leg back. Keep your chest lifted. Keep kicking your heel back. Try to keep those hips square to the floor. Ooh, standing splits. Drop your fingertips to the ground. Lift your right leg up. Deep breath. It's almost like a little break. All right, and we'll step back to that big lunge, nice and long. Bring your toe to the floor. Step back through your plank pose. Hold that plank steady, firm, and very strong here. Push the floor away. Feel how strong you are in your body. I want you to lower just halfway. Elbows squeeze into your ribs. Lift your gaze forward. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. You can always do this on your knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Push the floor away. Nice deep breath here, in and out.
Oh, I almost forgot. Inhale, right leg lifts. Or sorry, left leg lifts, right? And then we'll bring that left knee forward to your pigeon. How could I forget that? Whew. My body would be telling me a story later, especially since this is that reward. Some of you were probably already there, anticipating this nice release here. And again, whatever hip opener your body needs, pigeon pose, figure four, and a whole lot of good breath. Nice. Let's get ready to come up nice and slow. Take the hands underneath your shoulders. Curl your back toe under. And you're going to bring that left leg up nice and high. Open your hip, bend your knee. One more nice big stretch here. And then release your foot down towards the floor. Slowly start to walk your feet all the way up towards your hands, coming into a forward fold. Let your feet be about hips width apart. And releasing your crown of your head down toward your toes, chin to your chest. Inhale, lift your spine halfway. Slide your hands up your shins, little bend in your knees, flat back, long spine. Exhale, fold. Chin to chest. Inhale, sink your hips back and down towards chair. Reach your arms up towards the sky. Turn the palms to face in towards one another. Lift the navel up towards the spine and sink your weight back into your heels. Lift all 10 toes up off the ground. Turning those palms to face in towards one another. Can you wrap your pinkies in towards one another as the thumbs start to fan open, creating a little bit more space in the upper back and shoulders. Keep pulling that rib in and down, that core lock. Belly to spine, press down through your heels. Inhale, reach up, stand up. Get nice and tall. Exhale, release your arms down. Nice work. We finally find our way to our feet. Feeling your feet nice and even onto the floor. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky. Interlace your fingers, point your fingers to the sky. Big inhale as you lengthen up. Exhale, lean over towards the right. Press down through the left foot. Big breath to the left side body. Inhale, take it back to the center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, take it back to the center. Lift your chest up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Sink your hips low. Reach your arms up. Pull your belly in tight. Now release the arms down and back. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. Keep the belly in tight, just moving the arms right in their socket. Gaze stays right in front of you so the back of the neck is long. And you're moving those arms. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, reach the arms back. Interlace your fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Open the heart and fold forward. Releasing your crown of your head. Little bend in the knees so you hinge from the hips. And here you can explore reaching the knuckles over your head. Try to let the head be heavy. Now, if this is too much for you, bend the elbows and take the thumbs towards the low back. Breathe in. And breathe out. Release your hands down towards the floor. We'll start to step back into our plank position. Hold that sturdy plank, shoulders over your wrists, belly in tight. Exhale, lower halfway, elbows squeeze in. Inhale to your up dog or cobra. Squeeze your glutes. Exhale, downward dog. Breathe, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose, round the spine, and step your foot right between your hands. Now turning your toes towards the right, placing your left hand under your shoulder, reach your right arm up.
All right, so you start to slide onto the side of the body. You might even wiggle that right foot more towards the long side of the mat. And you can explore lowering your hips, reaching your hand down toward your toes. Now sweep the arm forward, reaching by your ear. You start to push through the floor, lift your hips. And new one here, you're going to lower your hands down to the floor and walk your hands to the long side of the mat. Both of your toes facing towards the long side of the mat, wide-legged forward fold. Exhale, release. Releasing the crown of the head down towards the ground. Now let's bend the left knee. The left toes can turn out to the side. Come into that low side lunge. Reach your right arm up. Reach it back behind you. Feel that big stretch. From the right fingertips all the way to the right toes. Lift those toes up. And then slowly release the hand down, reaching towards the front of the mat again. Coming to the inside of that right foot. Getting nice and low here. Option, you can lower your left knee to the ground, reaching your right arm up, finding this twist. Keep centering down through that left hand. You can bend the back knee and reach back and grab your foot. This is optional here as you pull the heel towards your hips. Or you can always use a strap if you can't reach. That's optional. If you like, you can lower down to your elbow. Just getting a little slow and low here. All right, slowly release, taking your hands back underneath your shoulders. Curl your back toe under, lift your back knee up. Press down through your hands and swing that right leg up and back. Just reaching it high up towards the sky. And then float the leg back down towards the floor. Inhale as you shift forward to plank pose. Hold that plank nice and sturdy. Push the floor away. Exhale, lower just halfway, elbow squeeze in. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Breathe. Second side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose, around the spine. Step your foot right between your hands. Right hand underneath your right shoulder. Let the toes turn towards the left side of your mat as you roll towards that right side. Reach your hand down towards that right foot. You can let the hips release towards the floor. You feel that stretch if you're tight here in those IT bands we're going to get into. And then you're going to press through the edge of your foot. Push the floor away. Here's that core again as you reach up and start to spin towards that long side of the mat. So coming to that right side of your mat as you fold. Wide leg forward fold, toes slightly in, heels slightly out. Relax your crown of your head towards the ground. Let the chin come towards your chest. Maybe shake the head a little, yes or no. Make sure you're letting go. And coming to that lateral lunge. Anjalayasana, bending your right knee as you lift your left toes. Sweep the left arm up. Chin drops down towards your left underarm. You can peek down towards those left toes as you reach the fingertips away. And we cartwheel the hands back towards the front of the mat. Drop the right knee, right hand under your shoulder, reach the left arm up, twist. Hug the left knee in first, and then you start to release, bending that back knee, optional, grabbing for that foot. Wherever you are, just finding that breath. Slowly release your foot. Place both of your hands back underneath your shoulders. Curl your back toes under and lift that left leg up and back. Big inhale.
Exhale, place your foot to the floor. Sweep your shoulders over your wrist, plank pose. Push the floor away, navel to spine. Exhale, lower halfway, chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, downward facing dog, push the floor away. The little pedal of the heels. Enjoy that feeling and sensation in your body. And then slowly lowering your knees down towards the ground. Sink your hips back towards your heels as you stretch your fingertips towards the front of the mat. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Rocking up towards the hands and knees. Let's cross the ankles and sit your hips back. Find your way somewhere towards the middle of your mat. We'll start with both of the feet grounding down onto the floor, and then I want you to reach your hands forward. Now pull the navel to the spine, start to tuck your tail slightly, drop your chin towards your chest, and slowly roll down. If you need to take your hands back behind your legs, you can take your hands down behind your legs and just try to ease your way down towards the back of your body. Once you come onto your back, step your feet a little bit closer up towards your hips, centering your knees over your heels, arms right by your sides, palms face down towards the ground. On an inhale, lift your right leg up. Press down through your heels, lift both hips up. One-legged bridge here. Right, your knee could be bent if that feels better. Our goal is our hips are equal. And now we're going to do a little lower and a little lift. So a little down and a little up. And if you want to bend your elbows, I'm trying to keep those hips nice and even right to left as you lift and lower. Again, leg could be straight or knee can be bent. Two more. Whew. Nice. And lower down. All right, you're like, oh, there are those hips. There's those glutes again. Really strengthening the whole body. Get elbows pressed down, keeping them right by your sides. Press your shoulders down to the floor. We'll lift that left leg up when you're ready. You can lift, pressing through that right heel. Hips nice and even. When you're ready, you start to go up and down, just little pulses. Never resting the hips. You can even take your gaze down towards the hips, getting a good look for the last 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Lower down. Hug those knees in towards your chest. Let's hug the right knee in nice and tight. Extend your left leg out nice and long. As you pull that right knee in, take the right knee a little wide. And take it right to that right hand. Take the left hand to your left hip bone. Open up your hips. Pull the shoulders back to the floor. And now we'll take it across for a twist. Take the left hand to your right knee. Reach your right arm out. Let your gaze follow along that right arm as you take the leg over towards the left, rolling onto your left side of your body. And enjoy this nice, well-deserved twist. And some nice sighs, nice deep breaths. And then slowly roll onto your back, hug your right knee in nice and tight. And then we'll switch, we'll hug the left knee in. You can extend that right leg out. And we'll open the hip, take your right hand to your right hip, and bring your left knee out towards the left. Try to stay even. So you feel the back kind of grounding here. Notice if your right hip tries to pop up away from the floor, it's going to want to. And I want you to try your best to keep that right sitting bone even to the floor. Almost as if it was as evenly weighted to the floor as the left. Right, that's the tricky part. All these little fine details. All right, we get ready for the twist. Now you take your right hand onto your left knee. Reach your left arm out and draw that leg across your body over to the right side and rolling onto your right side. So you can wiggle onto the right side of your body. You know, you got to kind of explore where the twist works best for you.
And it's okay if the left shoulder pops up off the ground. And it's okay if your right knee doesn't come, or your left knee doesn't come all the way to the floor. It's all about getting that nice sensation. You might even feel and hear a little spinal adjustment. Nothing painful, of course, just all the good stuff. It's a big breath. And then slowly roll onto your back. Let's hug both of the knees in. Let the knees be nice and wide as you slowly massage your spine, rocking a little side to side. And doing any last little movements that your body may be craving before you prepare for Shavasana. So just taking a moment just to connect with yourself, your body, noticing where your energy level's at. Doing a little movement, and then when your body feels ready to settle into stillness, allow yourself to lay flat on the floor here with your legs a little wider than hips width apart, the arms a little wider than shoulder width apart, the palms turn to face up. Let the feet fall with gravity towards the sides. And just find some nice easy breath. Allow the muscles to soften away from the bone. Let go of controlling your breath and allow the breath to be natural. Continue to observe the breath and noticing its irregularity. Noticing the pauses between the breath. And allowing the fluctuations of the mind to move without trying to control it. Simply observe it, watch it, without any judgment. Eventually you might feel like you're shifting off into a dreamlike state. And I invite you to stay in relaxation as long as you like. But for now, I will say goodbye and see you in our next video. Thanks for watching.